fitting because I'm going to talk more about creating deeper meaning with your to-do list, with your projects, things of that nature. So you can kind of, and there'll be a picture of my notes after, so you can grab it from there. So the thing about OmniFocus that it's my hub, right? And as for many of the other people that have already spoken, and when it comes to cultivating a to-do list that you can attach a deeper connection to, because OmniFocus is so good at what it does, it allows you to have that ability to get a deeper connection to the tasks, to the projects, to the things that you've got. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to that is the structure that OmniFocus has. The great thing about OmniFocus is that it can be really simple if you want it to be. Like you can get in there and do what you need it to do before you dive in really, really deep and get into the super context and all that stuff. But it can also scale, so it can get really powerful. You know, you've got the different platforms you can use it on, that kind of thing. So because it's got the structure there, that allows you to kind of have that framework. So you can go in and say, all right, here's my tasks, here's my to-do list. It's all built right in there. You start dumping it, you know, the old capture process, that kind of stuff that Sven was talking about earlier. You capture everything in there. It's that structure. It's where you can house all this stuff. The trick about that, though, where people get stuck, is the front end work. That's what I call the front end work, which is actually setting it up, you know, which is what we're kind of here to talk about today, is doing that actual setup itself. And that's what a lot of people balk at, no matter what productivity task management system you're using. They balk at that. That's why so many people use email, right, as their inbox for everything, right? So that's the biggest challenge. Once you use that, once you've got that set up there, you've got the structure, then you can dive in a lot deeper, because that structure allows for habits to be fostered, right? Like you've got, you know, those reminders that Karash was talking about. You've got, you know, the repeating things of that nature are in there, so you can connect deeper with the things that really matter to you, right? I mean, not just, you know, taking out the garbage that repeats every single week or every 2 weeks where I'm from. That kind of thing. So that to me is huge, is that structure component. It's also the hardest part because of that whole setup idea. And of course, there are contexts. That's the next thing that I use to have a connection to my to-do list to make it more meaningful. And we've heard a lot about contexts already, starting this morning with the forum, and I'm going to talk a little bit about contexts here, but I do things a little bit differently with my contexts. I use a lot of the standard stuff, but one thing I do is I use trait-based or emotion-based contexts. So instead of necessarily saying home, or when I'm writing, for example, I'll use a context like practice or mastery or whatever. It's something I really want to get good at, and I filter that out and create that context. I can look at it and go, okay, those are the things that's that mastery. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this. Not just because I'm a writer. It's because I want to get really good at it. A journal. Keep a journal. I mean, how many of you, by raising your hands, keep a journal? Okay. And you do it every day, right? Like regularly? All the time, right? Yeah. What I do is I actually have the context gratitude for journaling. So when I look at that context, I'm like, why am I journaling? It's because I want to be grateful for the things, for the opportunity to come down here and speak to you guys, to being able to go to, spend time doing what I love to do and, get to see my son every day and hang out with him. So it creates that deeper connection, right? Other ones you can use, knowledge, if you're wanting to learn something new, something hard that you want to learn. Using a context like knowledge means, that why are you doing that? Well, I want to become more knowledgeable in that. I want to learn how to fix my car. I want to learn how to do this particular thing that's going to be taxing and take time, but why am I doing it? Oh yeah, because I want to get that knowledge down. Passion, that's another one you can use. I mean, it's really up to you. Willpower, the thing you really don't want to do, but you have to. Willpower as a context. So, I mean, you might want to try that. And I mean, it's not going to work for everybody because, you may want to, first off, multiple contexts doesn't really happen in a lot of cases for people. But if you really are having a hard time getting motivated and you're not super tech savvy and you're like, I'm into OmniFocus and I want to set it up and have things going, using those kind of contexts actually gets you into that structure that we're talking about a little bit more, a little bit deeper, and it does resonate a little bit further within you. And of course, all that creates the connection. And I'm not talking about whether you're connected to OmniFocus on your iPhone, your iPad, whatever. It's just that connection with your to-do list, that connection with your project, the connections with those things you really want to do, so that you don't check off all the boxes, you just check off the right ones, because you're more in touch with what you really want to be doing and why you're doing it, okay? So to kind of wrap off, no slides. Basically, what I would say to you is, if you're having a difficult time getting things done, and you're using a program like OmniFocus, and you're trying to really work hard and you're having difficulty, try to use some contexts that have some deeper meaning. Play with it. Use the structure that OmniFocus provides. And what you'll find is, as you do that, you get better at it. That to-do list becomes more meaningful. You've cultivated it to a more meaningful to-do list, and then you're going to stop doing productive and actually start being productive. I'm Mike Vardy. I'm at Mike Vardy on Twitter. Thanks so much.